And we're back here once again with another episode of the MSK show. And this is going to be episode 217. So I hope you guys had a great day. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend that is ahead of you. And in this episode of the MSK show, I am going to be having a conversation with Devil Made Me Do It. It's going to be his first appearance on this show. Actually, we did meet each other last year at the 2023 F&T Geeks and Gamers Las Vegas meetup. We probably spoke for maybe like 20 minutes just sitting on that freaking, what'd you call it, a curb or something like that next to the van bar. Patio, yeah. Like, literally when I first met him, I was like, you sounded like, because he didn't have his camera on for a long time. And then I was like, this, and I think Savage Dad, he's like, hey man, that's Devil Made Me Do It. And I'm like, wait, I know that guy because I hear him on his freaking show, The Pub. And I was like, wait a minute. That's a white guy? I thought it was a black dude. This guy was a straight up black guy. This was a big old giant black guy. But no, we ended up talking for a little bit. And after that moment, we didn't talk anymore until literally this year when we had the second meetup that I went to this year. But it's good to finally have Devil on the show. And keep in mind, the Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. That was a rather interesting movie. And keep in mind, that if you ever actually did anything wrong, you could literally just say the devil made me do it as a plea for like insanity. That's the crazy thing. It's like, did someone ever actually do that? I'm trying to think. I'll try to look up. Anyone ever actually claim the devil made them do something in a crime to kind of get off of it? Did that ever happen?
Oh, I'm sure it had. Like back in like the 1800s and stuff. Back when that was like more prevalent. Yeah. I'm sure it was all like. Yeah, I wouldn't have done that. I totally wouldn't have done that crime if I wasn't possessed by some evil force.
All right, so let's start it here because just in case you have like appearances later on in the show's life cycle, like a second and third appearances down the road, we'll already just have this out of the way, up front, that we don't have to do this again. The origin story. So you live in California, like me, good old, I would say great California state, but God, is that just a goddamn lie? Man, this state is
false statement.
There's some great parts here, but I'll ask you, how was your origin stories? How was your life growing up, man?
Yeah, I just I don't even know how to answer that. No, I grew up in a rural mid California, the Central Valley, near Sacramento. Yeah, just average guy, always liked nerd stuff, always liked pop culture stuff, but that wasn't really like the group I hung out with. I ended up hanging out with mostly potheads and freaking like the rock crowd that had no understanding of comic books, movies, any of that kind of stuff. And so later in my life, when I started watching YouTube and stuff, found the fellowship through just running across the Nerdrotic and F&T. And I was all, holy crap, man, here's a whole group of people who like all the shit I like and then have a lot of the same opinions about what's happening with pop culture that, I always kind of felt. And so that drew me into YouTube. But I'm just average guy, nothing special about
me. You
were
in the rock kind of thing. You're talking about like music, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
okay.
Dude. I
grew up into like what? Screamo, Metallica, and all that stuff?
Yeah, I used to have different color hair, spiked it, freaking wore black, had black nail polish, fucking metal, spike bracelets and shit. Yeah, I was a rocker in high school, mixed with being a complete pawhead. So
like, I can't believe you actually had a mohawk where you literally had black nail polish. Holy shit. Do you think about that time period and you're like, damn, I actually was in that phase?
Yeah. You look back on like the shit you did in high school and you're like, oh man, like I would laugh at me. And so yeah. No, definitely weird phases, I guess, of the devil.
So after high school, what did you end up doing? What did you do for like a job or anything? You were just like a retail person, or any horror stories?
Jumped around from a lot of jobs. I worked sometimes in offices helping people out, but I also worked retail for a long time, especially in the like food areas of retail. I've always kind of been around doing food, and that's why I work restaurant now. It's just always been something I'm good at.
You have any horror stories from your retail experiences over the years?
Oh God, man. Working freaking Target was awful.
Oh, shit.
Uh, any of those big kind of chain stores, they just they treat like utter trash.
You do. Did you do like the late shift, midday, morning shift?
I worked it all. I worked the back room. I worked the freaking cashier. I worked Food Avenue. I worked literally all over the store. Just
Mhm.
switched from place to place whenever they needed me, and just to have a different experience with it. One of the weirdest things was there was this freaky dude in the store one time, and he kept like I think he was trying to steal stuff, but you can't really confront people. That's not our
Yeah.
job unless you're
Mhm.
secure. Uh, but so you just kind of, approach them and hope that that kind of, gives them the message that we are on to you. So this guy's over by the card area, and that's usually if they're over there a long time and they keep dunking down and stuff, they're trying to pocket whatever, card they're
Mhm.
into. And so the dude comes over after he's walked off, comes over later, fucking just starts farting around my fucking like cashier booth, right? He just walks behind. I'm all, what the fuck? Dude, okay. Then he walks in front. Same thing. This dude is just fucking like crop dusting me over and over again. I guess maybe because he, didn't get what he wanted. Weirdest fucking day on that job. He did it about 6 times.
Good Lord, man. You
Couldn't
thinking
say
like
shit.
it had to have been a distraction to try and maybe, I don't know, steal some shit or whatever. That's just, man, people are just actually disgusting. Like, I know in
Very much
California,
so.
with this past election, they stopped this whole like you could steal up until like $900 thing. Like the fact that that was even a thing is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because we're told the narrative is like, oh, they had to take this stuff to feed their families, and it's like they're not taking food. That's not happening. They're taking literally
Yeah.
iPhones.
Yeah. They're not taking all that merchandise, all those clothes and shit, and then if they wanted bread and they stole a loaf of bread, fine. If the store's fine with it, whatever. That's not what they're stealing. No one's stealing the bread. If you go to stores here in California,
Those
all the
bread
stuff that's
shelves are
locked up,
stocked.
yeah, yeah, there's no lock on the bread, man. It's
There's,
on everything else.
it's like they're baiting you to just steal the bread. The bread ain't never. I've never went to a store and had bread locked up. Like I feel like people fall for such the dumbest narratives, or like the narratives that are the most like emotionally appealing to like the lowest common denominator person. Like that kind of argument is like what the average person thinks is happening in theory, but in reality it's not playing out at all. Like when you're looking at all these robberies, these people are straight up like stealing iPhones or breaking in, stealing like at Walmart's or Targets now. Apparently they're locking up like toothpaste. Like you guys are out here stealing toothpaste.
Liquor. Like what you
Yeah.
gonna feed your kid the fucking bottle of Jack you just stole? Really? It's
God, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's one of those things. If you have the preconception that people are always victims and all this kind of idea that the left tend to have, since that's the ones who are defending this policy,
Yeah.
uh, it no matter what the thing is, they're not going to try to suss it out with common sense and see if it holds water. They're just going to take it as, okay, that works for me. That works. That gives me I'm able to sit there and say, okay, we're doing it for a good reason. It doesn't matter the outcome of it. So yeah, they're told that, oh, why should this person be punished because they can't afford this food for their family, and that's not the case. We've seen it over and over again. People literally, they busted rings of people that have been stealing from so many stores and so much from stores. They had to rent warehouses, and they literally have millions of dollars worth of stolen merchandise stacked there. And there's a gang of like 15 or 16 of them that go out every single day and just, run into a closed store, snatch as much as they can carry, go out and then resell it.
Yep. Like I'm pretty sure the other argument that leans with that is whole like abortion thing. It's not like the actual abortion itself is the one of the arguments they give, where it's well, they had to do it because if they have the kid and they can't give it the life that it deserves, if they're in like a poor living condition, then that just justifies them aborting a kid. And it's like because I don't know how old you are. I'm pretty sure you said you're like what? You're like 33, 35, something like that, right?
Higher than that, man.
Oh
I'm
man,
42.
you're all milked out, man. Holy shit. So like in life, people I don't know if you feel the same, but it feels like the later as people got older, even yourself, people just forgot things that happened to them. So they think that realities of these situations don't exist. And I'll give you an example. Like when we grew up, I'm pretty sure, you had some poor times in your family. Maybe you guys are middle class. I don't know your situation, but
Yeah.
you had some times you struggled. That's just what human nature is. You just kind of
Yeah.
struggle. And people act like that just because you struggle, you're supposed to go out there and do crimes. And it's like, no, literally, if I couldn't like afford food, that doesn't give me the actual right to go out there and just like, I don't know, shoot up a Walmart to get some food. That just, you can't do that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why
Well,
people think that you should just be able to do crimes because you yourself are in a bad position. Like I tell people the story all the time. I told them on my old YouTube channel, there was months we had where we literally only had like a few cans of food left in the cabinets. And my mom didn't, none of us committed any crimes. This notion that if you're a low-income family that you just do crime because you can't afford stuff is such an excuse. Like none of us, I know plenty of people that grew up in low-income families, middle class, where they struggled some months and couldn't afford food. They didn't go out and do crimes. Like, what is that? You know?
yeah. Like somebody was I heard a conversation one time from this guy, and he said, "Look, when I drive down the street and I see homeless people, uh,
Mhm.
he goes, my heart goes out for him." He says, and I sat there and I watched them do these, things every day when I'm driving down the street. I go, okay, they're
Mhm.
doing all this and this. And he goes, but would if I lost my job, if I lost my house, would I resort to that? And he sat there and he said, no, no, I wouldn't, because that's not part of me. He said, if I became homeless, he said, "Would I shit in the street in front of people with no care? No, because I wouldn't do it now. Why would, just because I lost my circumstances, would that change who I am?
Mhm.
I think that's repugnant now. I think that's disgusting now. Why would my situation change me?" And he came to this conclusion that yes, I could very well find my money gone and be put in that situation. I don't hold that situation against anyone, but I would never change who and what I am and what so I think it's the same thing. Yeah. Just like you were saying, if I was put in a hard situation, yeah, it would suck and it would be complete and utter crap. But would I freaking like kind of just turn away from everything that I believe and my
Yeah.
morals and
Mhm.
stuff and become a criminal? No, I would just be like, okay, I'm going to try everything I can to live as, feed myself, get warmth, whatever way it is, but I wouldn't resort to, hurting people or robbing stores like that. Just wouldn't.
Yeah, because it feels like that party specifically, or various people in said party, just believe that if a person is in that kind of setting, then they should just be able to do whatever the hell they want in that setting. And it's like, well, these are the same people that say like no one is above the law, and it's like we're getting like so many mixed signals from these people. I would wish that some of these guys on the left, or progressives, like, as they always call themselves, have a consistent line of thinking. So apparently for them, it's okay for like black people in a bad situation to just go and like do crimes, because the argument with black people that do crimes, like, well, but they're in a poverty-ish situation, and they have to kind of, it's like, no, 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 no one has to go and do crime. I think I don't know what they think, but they're straight up justifying someone potentially shooting someone and gang banging and doing all that stuff because they're just in a bad social economic status. And it's like, no, like there's plenty of people you probably know that are in the same situations in like the projects or hoods that don't do any of that stuff. It's like the whole crack thing that happened with black people, back in the day, where people were like, well, this crack epidemic happened. It's like, well, true, but no one forced them to do that. No one forced you to sit there and do drugs. That was a conscious decision of that happening,
Yeah.
Like it's these scenarios that are given out constantly that are just like, what? Like, you think to yourself, I never did any of those things. And you have plenty of people that don't do these things. It's one of those kind of scenarios that are constantly given that you're thinking like, damn, I guess if you're poor, you could just break the law and do whatever you want just because you're poor. And it's like, they don't even hold middle class people to that standard,
Yeah. It's that's so much of the things, and it comes from both sides, because I hate always when I try to criticize one side and there's this idea that somehow the other side doesn't do it. That's not true. Conservatives are hypocrites about stuff, and we have
Oh, yeah,
double
you're right.
standards all the time.
Yeah.
Uh, but the left is just really good at it. They can sit there and on one hand, like you said, no one's above the law. They want to punish Trump, right? They want to go after Trump because he's done something bad. We can't tell you what he did bad, but he's done something. We're going to get him. And then just like yesterday, I think it was, they had a judge that literally
I know what you mean.
snuck
Yeah, I
a,
remember that one.
yeah. And we're like, and they have them now. They're out there they're saying it's attack on democracy to arrest her and punish her for a crime. She's a judge who swore to uphold the law, and and then she breaks it, but then she shouldn't be held accountable. Like, it's just the
Oh, it
double
reminds me of
standards
the
are
one that
crazy.
happened a few months ago. Remember where I think it was a judge or it was a prosecutor that ran a few red lights, literally could be endangering people, could cause car crashes, whatever. And that person was given like a ticket or whatever. And that person, I forgot, the person was a woman because they can't drive for shit. When they were like, "Oh, I shouldn't be given these I shouldn't be given these traffic tickets. I'm a prosecutor," and it's like, I know I was a bit like my brain went, so you can break the law yourself, but you're gonna enforce the laws on other people. It's like, I don't know if these people literally do not have self-awareness. It's not that they don't lack it. It's not that they lack it, everyone. They just don't have it. They literally do not have self-awareness. It's actually the most mind-blowing thing ever. Like that thing you just said with the judge that happened recently. And I'm sitting there going, it was two instances. I'm pretty sure it was one with the white lady and the one with the Mexican family. Remember the Mexican family one? She was harboring the dude from like, I think it was El Salvador or something like that. And it's like, these are the same judges that you also look into, because there was another one where she blocked that whole thing that Trump wanted to have where you have to have an ID to vote. If you look into that lady, she's sitting there at pride parades. I mean, like, it's like these certain, I don't know why people never question judges through all this time. Like people say, well, you should just kind of follow what the judge says. But is that to imply that judges never wrong? It seems like people just don't think of these things. Judges can be wrong, as if like people are not without faults and can make mistakes if you're in a certain position of power. This thing is like, I've always thought of this too. Who fires a judge if they do bad things? Because isn't a judge supposed to be like the ultimate judge, jury, executioner type figure? But who fires them? Like, who keeps them in check?
Yeah, I don't know what the process is for getting rid of a judge. I mean, there has to be some, but I think, do they get impeached? Like, I think, do they
It
have
would
to
have
be
to
like,
be, but the common person doesn't believe that they could be wrong. Like they can
yeah.
do wrong. It's like, guys, there are plenty of, I mean, literally the most famous one is probably the OJ one. Like we know he probably murdered his wife. Are you guys saying the judges were right on that one? There was one with that one lady where she literally killed her daughter because she wanted to go and party, and remember she stuck her in a car trunk. They let her off.
Yeah.
She was acquitted too. It's like, guys, were the judges right on that
Oh,
one?
God. Yeah,
That
yeah.
was way.
No,
That was way back in the day. Holy shit! That was like
was
2005.
was it Casey Anthony, or was
Casey
no?
Anthony.
That's
You're right.
something.
Yeah, it was her. I
Was
think
it?
it was Casey Anthony. I think it
Oh
was.
God,
God,
yeah,
it was a
I
party.
remember that, but it sucked because the reason why she got off was because she was an attractive girl. That's why it
Oh my
was.
God, yeah, you're
She
right.
was good looking, and so when they took her into court and she got all, like, where she's all innocent looking and shit, and yeah, next thing you know, they're all like, yeah, it doesn't matter that you literally killed your fucking child because she was ruining your fucking vibe or whatever.
Or I would say
Yeah,
people
it's
trust the
crazy.
judgment of judges because of the position of power. It's like
Yeah.
just recently. Oh my goodness, the Carmelo Anthony situation, not the basketball player. I know they can get confused. Not Carmelo Anthony, the NBA player. The Carmelo Anthony that stabbed that one white kid when he wasn't supposed to be in that place anyway. When he took a knife to school, he had $1 million bond set for his bail. He got reduced to $250K. And if you look at the judge, it was a black judge, black female judge actually, and it's like, yeah, I can kind of understand why it got reduced. Now, I do think people are overreacting to it just a little bit. Not saying what Carmelo Anthony did was right. He was wrong. But just because someone gets off on bail does not mean they're not going to go through a trial. I mean, he literally pretty much flat out said he murdered that guy.
Yeah.
So, like, the bond overreaction was weird to me because it's like, I was like, guys, we know corruption happens. That's not to say it's right. I mean, know it happens. But he's still going to go to trial, right? He still could literally be thrown in jail for life.
Yeah.
He's not off anything,
I would say with our justice system, chances are he's not going to get life, but that's the question: is what's he going to get charged with? Is it going to be involuntary manslaughter? No, definitely won't be death penalty.
Oh,
no,
could you imagine a death penalty for a black kid now in 2025? Holy shit!
Oh God, it has way too much public eye on it that they would never. No, he's probably gonna get charged with probably involuntary manslaughter, and they're gonna try to push it down as much as they can to where he literally gets 6 months and then 2 years probation type thing. But yeah, everyone who's upset that he got out, it happens. Usually with a murder trial, they try to hold them, but that's not always for certain. that they will be held over till trial. But in this case, yeah, the evidence is clear. There's no way you can claim. I don't think that state has a stand your ground law, and if it does, you still you can't. The response you give has to equal what was
That's
the
why the
initial
Kyle
thing.
Rittenhouse one is debatable, because people are like, oh, if you're in danger for your life and you have to do that, it's like, but if
Yeah,
he didn't do that, he would die. Specifically with the Texas one, as you just said, I looked into the Texas one. I just loaded, typed up self-defense Texas law. The way that people are talking about it is not what happened. And keep in mind, guys, the way you build a self-defense case is the scenarios that are given. This kid literally brought a knife to school and
yeah,
was at someone's tent he should not have been a part of. Okay,
yeah,
so the self-defense wouldn't really apply to that, because it's like, okay, so this person that's supposed to have self-defense went to someone else's school under their tent with a knife, and it's like that.
yeah,
What that's just crazy in and of itself, to be like, I'm supposed to believe that person was fearing for their life when they knew they had a weapon. It's
yeah.
like, come on,
If
godly, man. People are
if
crazy.
if somebody pushes you, you have a right to defend yourself, but
Yes,
to the level that was originally exerted, meaning that if he pushes you and you punch him, that's fine. You don't get to say, well, he, pushed me and so then I shot him. That where you have to justify, you have to show that there was a reason
because
for
it's,
doing it. There was no reason to stab him. He wasn't he wasn't attacking you constantly. He wasn't swinging at you
yeah.
multiple
Mhm,
times.
mhm.
He literally shoved you. So yeah, there was no ongoing attack. There was nothing that said he was in danger for his life. It will be a real hard sell to try to tell that. The only way he could do it is if they get a jury that's full with people, and it has to be full with people that are like, yeah, he obviously that kid pushed him, so yeah, he was gonna die. He had to do
Yeah,
it.
because the
He's
thing with
never gonna get that.
self-defense is what you said. So it's like, that scenario gave it, like, someone's aggressing to you, they're touching you, you're telling, hey, back the fuck up, you punch them, that even the person that punched them doesn't give them the right to just kill him.
Yeah,
The thing with self-defense is that you use it to get the person off of you, to de-escalate the situation, which we know that never happens. It usually escalates it, but it's the point of like, you're in fear for your life to the point where you want to get this person off of you. Still doesn't mean you kill the person. Does
yeah,
not mean you just get out a knife and stab that person.
yeah.
And the fact that any black person donated to that guy's campaign, and then to sit here and then black people go, oh, white privilege this and what, it's like, you guys are just brainwashed
Oh,
idiots. The whole
let's be honest. The people who gave to that campaign were rich, freaking white
white liberals,
liberals.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think any poor black person gave. I don't think they even knew the campaign even existed.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, they're not like, yeah, let's break off some of our cash and give it to this kid. No, they're all like, man, I'm keeping my money. But yeah, white liberals, they'll be sitting there going, yeah, here you go, you poor man.
Yeah. Oh God. It's I don't get it with how people can view that situation and go, yeah, black people are the ones that are the victims. Because people look up crime statistics. I mean, guys, I don't say these things because I'm trying to be a bad person or I'm trying to make you guys think I'm a bad person or anything like that. I just speak the truth. The facts say black people commit a exuberant amount of crime. And even in all the other ones too, the most aborted baby are black kids.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
The woman with the highest like STDs are black women. The race of people that have the most like killings are black men, not even just other white men, black men against black men. So black people have some of the most highest crime statistics out there. I don't get how that's racist to say. It's like, this is literally factual information. Now, if we're going to be like, as the per capita thing, what's the jarring part of it is like, they say, well, white people will commit more crimes too. There's two differences there. One, there's way more white people than black people. So that is just how that would work. If you have more of one person, more of an outcome will happen. Basically, like, predominantly EST, like Eastern states like Georgia, Mississippi, all of them, they're going to have more black people in those certain areas. So by that case, you would have more black crime. But the thing with the black crime statistics is, well, black people account for like what, 14% of the population. So how is it that a population of 13% of people are committing almost 60% of the crime? That's the jarring part. It's not about how much white people there are. It's about a race this small in this country doing this amount of crime is actually insane. So that means if it's 13%, and if the crime statistics are that high, that would mean that like 8% of black people are committing these crimes. Like, and these you have like what 5% good people that aren't doing anything. You know, it's like, but if you said those things, you'd be called racist, and it's like, no, you're just pointing out what's going on. That's just the reality of the situation. You know, there's many factors to it. You know, no dads in the home. They're glorifying like rap music and all that stuff. All that applies, but like people need to have the actual conversation of like, why is this race of people, which make it for 13% committing all the crime? They're literally doing all the crime, you know, which
Yeah,
is insane to think about, honestly, you know?
it's life would be a lot better if we were able to have conversations no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Uh,
Mhm.
it's I don't know if ever in history it was that way, but yeah, it seems like
Mhm.
now that's exactly it. Anytime there's something that is an inconvenient truth, something that is they don't want touched. It's just couched in that's racist, that's
Mhm.
sexist, that's homo, whatever it is, and then the conversation ends. No one's able to touch it. It doesn't matter what the facts say. If you address it, somehow you're committing some sort of, killing the sacred cow that is the lie. And yeah, it prevents us from correcting, shit in our society that isn't working. Uh, you know,
Mhm.
yeah,
The
like
whole
like
whole
you
dad
you
thing too. Black men or black kids in general, I think it's like what was the record? The stat was like 70-80% don't have a dad. Well, now you can understand why they do crime. Like without a father figure there, that would probably cause a lot of problems, honestly. You know, and
yeah.
people would ask, why don't they have father figures in? And that goes into another rabbit hole. It's just like, but like you said before, people don't want to have hard conversations because it forces that person to go, oh shit, this is the reality that's been created. Now, how do we tackle it? I don't think it'll ever get tackled because there's too much of big of a divide. You'd literally, I forgot, there was that one guy, I forgot his name, who was saying things like, oh, we need to abolish these laws created by white men. And it's like, I hope you know that these laws created, these slavery laws were abolished by white men. People know the conservative party, Republican Party, they were the ones that tried to get rid of slavery. The party that tried to keep it were the Democratic Party. Just want people make sure I understand that, just the KKK was invented by the Democrats. Just point it out there. These people that claim that they're
Yeah.
about unity and love and
Mhm.
diversity and equity inclusion. Yeah, they're the ones that created the most racist group in existence who literally just hate you for the color of your skin color. Just put it out there. That
Yeah.
was all Democrats. Just saying
I I
that.
I think I remember the guy you're talking about. Yeah, it's like a white hair.
Yeah.
He's a college professor, glasses, kind of
Black
pudgy.
guy. Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's all any law that was made before this date should be nullified and given no weight because that's when slavery ended or something like that. And yeah, as people were pointing out all the laws that he would be really upset if they weren't doing no more because it was before. And yeah, it sometimes people just say the most ludicrous stuff when they think they're intellectuals, when they think they're, the
Do you think they're
oh, I'm a college.
indoctrinated? Because like having an upbringing like his would mean that he is getting affirmed all these things and being told all these things by other people who believe all these things too. Because that's how upbringing usually is. Like you get told certain things, and some people like yourself are able to kind of differentiate. Okay, this is what I believe versus what they believe, and now you kind of look at information. The average person, for what I know throughout my life, they don't really do that. They really just kind of believe everything they're told, as if like there's some sort of like some perma victim all the time, you know?
I do believe that, but it's also the fact that people tend to you have two sets of people. There are people
Mhm,
who everything they hear, they try to see through a lens of critical like thought.
mhm,
Is it true? Is this not true? I'm going to look into it. I'm going to find the evidence to either, uh confirm what I'm feeling or what I'm seeing and stuff. Or there's the people that will just eat whatever they're spoon fed, long as it's given to them in a way that they can easily digest. They'll believe any lie you tell
mhm,
them. You still have people that are seen there saying Kyle Rittenhouse shot black dudes. Not one person he shot at was black, but somehow
mhm.
they'll still sit there and say Kyle Rittenhouse killed 3 black men because it was easy for them to believe that. When somebody kept saying he's racist, and he went to this place because he doesn't like black people and that's why he had a gun and all this stuff, it's easy for them to believe that he killed 3 black men, and they never bothered looking at a picture of the so-called victims that they were so upset that he shot and say, "Oh crap, they're actually white. Oh, whoa." You know, it's not like we hid that information or something,
Mhm.
but
It's
it,
the
it
other side of the argument too that I wanted to bring up with the whole Carmelo Anthony thing is like this is a few tweets that I saw from people that I was like, okay, I can see this point of view where it always feels like it's always race related when in reality, I don't know if people know this in life. Sometimes when you have bad interactions with people, it can be because I don't know they bumped you the wrong way, they stepped on your shoe, they mad dogged you or whatever, they like mean mugged you or whatever, something like that, like gave you dirty looks, right? Why is
Mhm.
everything such race related issues? Like, not every situation that I have bad with someone is because of race. Could be because of their personality. I don't like the way they talk. I don't like I don't like how they move. It's just various little things that we have in our minds, but it's always just boiled down to race. And it's like, well, if we're just looking at things as black and white as that, then nothing can ever get solved, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why a lot of it does. I mean, yeah, I've there's plenty of people I hate. It has nothing to do with their skin color.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I think so much stuff now does kind of break down into some political line, whether it's race, whether it's
Mhm.
sex, whether it's and it seems like that's where they want us to be. Probably because it makes us easier to divide us and make us hate each other for everything. Uh, but yeah, you don't like some music. Yeah, you're right. It's you don't like that music because you don't like black people. It's all no, I'm just not into that particular, type of
Mhm.
music. Or you don't want to go on a airplane right now. It's because you're sexist. No, it's because the DEI hiring, they're hiring women for jobs that they're not even really interested in. And there's
Mhm.
it, it's yeah, like I said, it's all meant to divide. It's all meant to get us to not trust each other, and it sucks because it's working.
You remember on I think it was on CNN that recently with Scott Jennings. That's to be honest with you guys, Scott Jennings is the only reason why anyone would watch CNN these days. No one's watching for that. No one's watching for what's that white bitch's name? Caitlyn something, and that other black lady. No one's watching for them guys. I mean, people are only watching for Scott Jennings right now. And there was a panel discussion they were having that I was watching just on clips because I wouldn't watch that shit fully. Where the one guy Scott Jennings is talking to, he's like, "Well, everyone is like everyone." He was basically giving the argument that everyone thinks the media is like out to get them and that they lie constantly. And then Scott Jennings just gave them like a few examples of them lying and literally straight up factually lying. And he's like, "Oh, huh." He just they kind of reboot. They go back to a different talking point, guys. The reason why the media's ratings have dropped is because everyone's all eyes are open more now. It's like people used to kind of believe all that shit because they didn't really know any better. And also when you grow up, you just kind of find things out differently as you grow up. Looking at how the media goes now, I'll just give an example. That I was last year, 20 or 2023. Remember how we had that Nashville, Tennessee, was that Troon shooter, and
Mhm.
then I think we're pretty sure it was MSNBC where they were like, hey, where they were pointing out things about like, where they were basically saying to the cops when they released the information about that person, they were like, yeah, they shouldn't have revealed this person's gender, and it's like, what is wrong with you? That is your first tweet. Someone's school, private school, got shot up by this complete lunatic, and your first instinct is to have your social media person tweet out that it was wrong for the police to release information about them. No wonder why no one trusts these people. Like I don't know if they understand this. They're part of the reason why the election's lost for them. I mean, just look at the View, guys. Literally look at the View. They literally said Kamala Harris was winning, and she got destroyed.
Mhm.
Why would anyone trust them?
Yeah, it's that's exactly it. They want to. I don't think every time a trans person kills somebody, it's ideological. But when it is ideological, as that
Mhm.
was, they, in their manifesto, they said the reason they were doing it. They,
Mhm.
when it's something like that, yeah, you have every right to know. They would have no problem if it was a white straight dude who said, "I'm gonna go shoot this place up, this, let's say gay bar. I'm gonna go shoot that gay bar up because
Yeah.
I'm a bigot and I don't like gay people and I'm gonna do this bad thing." Do you think for 1 second that they would have withheld if he literally admitted it in paper, why he did it? No, they would sit there and use that as, we have to have change. We have to have but no, if a trans person says like I said, if them being trans has nothing to do with their crime, then yeah, I don't care what their, orientation is. But yeah, when it is a fundamental reasoning for what they did, damn right, we have a right to know that that was an issue for them.
Because I think a lot of people don't know how the most of the media works. They get their opinions and talking points through another network. Fox News. People say, "Oh man, all you guys do is watch Fox News." I don't even sit around and watch any news broadcasts.
I don't watch
Guys,
Fox
their
News.
ratings literally proves no one sits and watches that shit. The only reason why anyone would probably watch news stuff related now is your parents' age probably still watches that group. Like your parents' age group probably still watches like traditional cable and all that shit potentially. But people that are like, I don't know, not Gen Z. Well, Gen Z for sure not watching that stuff. But the generation before that, which would be that's mine, would be leading into yours. We don't watch traditional news broadcasts anymore. The only thing you watch that shit for is like clips. Yeah, this Republican completely distort this Democrats ideologically, or this bullshit like that they has on shorts. That's all the reason why you would even see a news clip. Like, if I want to watch like Scott Jennings stuff, I'll just go and follow him on Twitter and I just listen to those clips there. Like, why the fuck would I want to watch a CNN broadcast? These people literally recently they had that Tesla situation that was happening, and one of the host lady was calling it a resistance. These people are guys. There's a reason why you cannot destroy things like that. So let's just say this didn't happen. Luckily, geez, man, if it did, I'd be crazy. The reason why what they were doing was domestic terrorism is because let's say someone, I don't know, offed a Tesla vehicle, whether it be a normal one or one of those Cybertrucks. Let's say a family had their kid in there and you blew up that vehicle. Yeah, guys, there's a reason why you cannot do these things. You cannot just blow up people's stuff or carve on it because, it's against the law. No, every single state to do that. And keep in mind, if you blow up someone's vehicle, that could seriously maybe potentially kill someone, hurt someone, all that stuff. And people are sitting there justifying it, being like, no, but it's deserved. It's like, it's deserved. You just go out and just terrorize other people that have nothing to do with it. Come on, they are assaulting vehicles for people that have nothing to do with anything.
Yeah,
just causing harm for no reason.
You don't even know if that person agrees with you politically or anything like that. They could have a Tesla because they, they bought into the, global warming bullshit, and so the Tesla produces some of the best cars that are, electric, right? Okay. That doesn't mean that they agree with freaking Elon on anything. So you're sitting there, causing damage to this dude's car or this chick's car or whatever for your ideological thing when that person could be sitting there being on your side for everything. I get it. I don't agree with it, but I get it if like they came out of the car with a fucking MAGA hat on and, they're seeing their, okay, fine. But like I said, a lot of these people bought the freaking goddamn Tesla because they thought they were helping the environment. And yeah, you're ripping their shit apart. You're fucking idiots, man. It's friendly fire. You're going after your own people in some cases. Not all cases, but some. And yeah, it's also such a hollow freaking thing because if you can afford a Cybertruck, you can afford the couple, grand to fix the paint. You're not gonna go lose your house, because of it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like this hollow freaking thing where they really think they're doing something. They're like, "Ooh, look how cool I am."
They're just ruining everyday people's lives. There was one, I think there was on N Wokeness or whatever, or Libs of TikTok, where this lady's Tesla got vandalized, and she was in a wheel. She's been like strapped to a wheelchair for a long time due to a condition or whatever, or she was injured in an accident. That person didn't do anything. What did that lady do to deserve like thousands of dollars worth of damages to her Tesla when she's on Social Security? Like and I was gonna say this on Twitter too. Anyone that agrees with anyone doing that, I'm usually a person that's like, let live and free think, but goddamn, does that boil me bad? Someone would think that going up and vandalizing someone's property is a good thing because of what someone said. It's like, or what Elon Musk is doing. It's like, no, that average person, like you said, could literally just not be involved with any of that. It wasn't the narrative is that average people just don't care about that kind of stuff. They just kind of live their own lives. Well, that's what you're doing. You're just, on average, ruining someone's life like that. Just causing, what if you vandalize that Tesla and now that dad can't get to work? Now that dad family is struggling, or mom or whoever, right? It's like anyone that agrees with that, I'm sorry, I have to cut you off. That is literally insane levels of thinking right there. Blowing your vehicles. At the Trump Tower, there are all those Tesla vehicles that exploded and that person put on fire. What if that fire hit a few kids? What if that fire hit a grandma, uncle, all that stuff? All these things can happen when you do stuff like that. There's a reason why you can't, why you should get thrown in jail. That's why recently in Minnesota, the person that caused like $10,000 worth of damages to Tesla, that they, that fucking state is trash. The person's not even getting prosecuted. And Tim Walz wanted to be our vice president. He's not even going to prosecute a literal criminal with video evidence to prove this person caused $10,000 of damages to people's vehicles. He's not going to get prosecuted. He's just going to be like, okay, it was justified this person did it. It's like, no, that person just caused huge amounts of financial pain for all those people, and it's fine. He just gets off the law. But I thought no one was above the law. It's like these people are mentally deranged. It's like talking to literal lunatics. Not even sane people. They're straight up lunatics.
Yeah, they had a video like when they first started having all these Cybertruck, Keen and all these kind of videos come out, and they had one. I don't think it was a Cybertruck. I think it was just a normal Tesla, but some guy was pulled up next to a person, had their window rolled down, cussing at them. And then when the light changed, they were so into yelling at that person, they went to the turn and like hit a freaking girl who was crossing the crosswalk because they were it was more important for them to, tell this person to go fuck himself because they're driving a Tesla than to, pay attention. And freaking, some girl lost her life. That kind of stuff is just sick. Like, you have to be broken to be. I don't care how much I hate a politician. If I saw someone with a sticker on their car of that, it's not going to make me fucking change how I'm driving.
It shouldn't bother you at all. Yeah.
I'm
just like wearing MAGA hats, right? People think like, oh, if I wear a MAGA hat, I might get. You should never think that just because you wear a hat of some sort, you get attacked.
Yeah.
The whole Tesla thing. Oh my God, guys, that literally made my blood boil when people were doing this. It was like, what is wrong with people? Like, you hate Elon Musk so much. And keep in mind, the things that people ask him for why they hate him, I'm saying he doesn't do bad things or questionable moralistic things, but people think he's taking away Social Security, Medicaid, Medi-Cal, even though he firmly stated none of those are getting touched. So the thing that people are doing, which is what they think is happening, they've already stated firmly, none of that's getting touched. But the only thing that's really technically getting touched in SSI is more like getting people that are dead off of it, which would make you get more money. Because you might have to, if they're paying money out to literal dead people, that stops you from getting more money if you need that SSI. So people are literally mad at something that isn't really even happening. Like, they created this boogeyman for a lot of people to cause them to just act this violently and hinge for something that isn't even happening at all. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's so funny because people get and this is probably one of the things that annoys me the most is when people don't learn from lies that were told to them before, right? Every single time we have another Republican president, they use the same lies over and over again. And it didn't happen the first time. Like when Trump first got in office, first term, remember, all black people were going to be, killed. Gay people were going to be hunted.
Yeah. Everyone's getting deported because of the wall. Yeah, I remember that.
Exactly.
Yep.
The whole world is going to fall because Trump got in office. Did any of that happen? Not a damn part of it. But then when he gets reelected, they're telling the same thing, and people are right back to going, oh, yeah, gay people are in danger because Trump got back in office. You said that last time, and not a single gay person was killed. Like what?
God, man.
Yeah, it's
recently, remember the whole El Salvador guy? That whole situation. These people want to apparently get back in the good graces of Americans because Democrats polls right now are in the toilet. I would be literally, guys. I'm honest, for 4 years from now, when we vote again against potentially maybe an AOC and Jasmine Crockett vice president duo. I'm calling it right now. AOC, Jasmine Crockett, president, vice president duo is going to run. If they somehow win, I would literally throw myself off the bridge. I have no faith in humanity for voting people like that. I'm not going to do it. Obviously, I'm joking, but like, people don't understand. These people right now, just currently, this is the current thing that's happening right now. They are trying to literally bad for a literal MS-13 gang member who not only entered the country illegally, beat his wife, the girlfriend or wife or whatever, put emojis on the person's gang tattoos. Okay, so if this person wasn't a part of this gang, pretty sure you wouldn't be covering up the tattoos. And any gang person doesn't cover the tattoos. They don't do that, And also keep in mind, because people said due process. So here's the thing I have about that, the full Fifth Amendment thing. I'm not saying we shouldn't apply that to average American citizens, right? Due process is what we have here. Since this person entered the country legally, why does that person get due process when they didn't honor our system of coming in legally, right? I think if you come in illegally, you don't get due process because you didn't even value our system. Like, what is that? They want a person who came over illegally to get due process, but that person didn't even come over and do it the right way. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, it's literally so stupid. You don't get due
Yeah.
process when you literally enter the country legally. That's not how that works. You want all the benefits of the law to affect you when it's on your side, but then you don't want it to apply to you, but then you don't want to follow it yourself to get to that point. It's like, no, the person should be gone. And if you don't know what MS-13 does, things I couldn't say on YouTube, guys, these people literally grape kids. So pretty sure you don't want that person around you. I won't want that person around me. If I saw the person around me, I'm running. I'm literally running. I'm out. I'm good.
Yeah, it's like I don't get why sometimes we put stuff in place that is kind of detrimental to common sense.
Oh, true.
Yeah, if you're here illegally, there shouldn't be a big argument if you get kicked out, right?
Yeah.
You weren't supposed to be here in the first place. Why do checks and balance? Well, fuck that. Like literally, if you're not here legally, it shouldn't be like, okay, we caught this guy. Now we need to go through the process of the no, it should be
Yeah.
like you're not supposed to be here. Like if somebody comes into your place of business and they're not supposed to be there, you don't have to sit there and go, hold on, I have to fill out some paperwork. I have to freaking appeal this. We have to go through a process before I can eject you from the business. No, you go, there's the door, get the fuck out, like it just seems kind of stupid that we have to go through any court case to eject somebody who's here illegally. If you're here illegally, you shouldn't have to go through a court. Just be like, you're not here legally, gone. Why did we put all that in place to fuck ourselves over with having to go through
kept
this?
replying to me like, oh, they still get due process, buddy. They're illegals, guys. I'm pretty sure I could read the amendment again, but I'm pretty sure that only applies to people like us who were born here for due process. Like, for someone who's illegal, like you said, shouldn't be here in the first place. So why should they get any process from America? Like, I don't get why they're so hard on for this one person. And keep in mind, the president from their country literally said the person is part of that gang. So people saying he's not part of the gang. Other people always want to trust authority, but then don't believe them when it's factually against them. The leader of El Salvador literally said he is a part of that. So is he lying? Because people don't believe Trump. Okay, cool. But the leader of their country says he's a part of that. So is he lying to you?
And when your tattoos say you're part of a gang, I'm sorry if you have a gang like MS-13 that is as dangerous as they are, that they'll cut your head off for nothing.
Yeah.
You don't fake put tattoos on that. It's like I wouldn't put on a tattoo of a gang that would just kick my ass if they saw my fake tattoos. So I'm sorry if he has those tattoos on him. It's not because he's all like, you know what, I'm gonna get these things and just pretend that. No, he got them because he's part of it. You're right. It's kind of ridiculous that's even an issue.
I was reading about this recently. Some recent Supreme Court case state that all peoples, not all citizens, but it's flipped flop for years. Yeah. So I've seen the same thing you have, dude. That's just what I think. I don't think you get those American privileges if you come over illegally. Also, keep in mind, guys, literally just because other administrations didn't enforce the illegal immigration process doesn't mean it wasn't ever a thing. Keep in mind, this has always been a thing. Different administrations just applied it differently. You're not supposed to be here illegally. It's actually against the law. You can't be here illegally. That's literally what it is. You can look it up. I'm not lying. You can go factually look it up yourself. You are not supposed to be here illegally. You have to go in the right way. But people were told by other administrations, you just come in. It's fine. You just invade us. Like, what the fuck? And then people are surprised that they apply the law that they're not supposed to be already. It's like, oh my God, we're living in clown world, man.
Well, it's not just that. You have, if you look at the numbers of people that Obama deported, that Biden deported, all these Democratic presidents, the people they deported, they had no problem with that. You never heard one peep from them that Obama's deporting people. Oh my God, he's a tyrant. He's evil, right? It was never an issue till Trump started deporting people. Then it became, whoa, hold on here. This is evil. How dare you throw these families out of the country? Like I said, there was not that argument when it was Obama. 50.
Also, keep in mind, if these people wanted to be citizens, let's just say they were here illegally. If they really truly want to be citizens, why did they never become them? Keep on, some of these guys have been here for decade plus years, guys. That's more than enough time, honestly. They obviously didn't want to be American citizens and they just wanted to just, be here for whatever reason. If someone was here because they wanted to make a better life for themselves, then at some point you should have, if you came in illegally, you should have tried to become a legal citizen because you wanted to be here for your better life. And now that's potentially jeopardized because you didn't want to become a legal citizen. It's like, I can't feel bad for someone that's lived here for like more 5 to 10 years and they didn't even try to do it. If you didn't try to do it, then I can't feel bad for you. You're not even trying to do the basic thing to be a citizen,
Yeah, it's exactly. They don't want. Why would they want to be a citizen? They don't want to pay taxes.
Oh
They
yeah,
don't want to
forgot that.
fucking have to do all that. They're coming here because financially it's a good choice. They come here, they get a job, they make plenty enough money, they send the majority of it home and support their family. They don't want to fucking all of a sudden sit there and say, okay, I'm gonna start paying taxes, I'm gonna start paying into freaking Social Security, I'm gonna start paying into all this other stuff. I'm gonna, no. They're like, fuck that. We don't want that. We want the benefits, but yeah, they don't want to freaking have to deal with all the shit that us as citizens have to deal with, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they want to drive on the roads. They want to freaking, if their fire starts in their house, they want a firefighter to come put it out, but they don't want to pay the taxes to pay that firefighter a goddamn penny. So yeah, it's.
Oh no, I know that it takes a little bit of time to become a citizen. Like, it takes years of process.
Wow.
Yeah. But at least if you are trying to do it, I'm pretty sure in a system they would know you're trying to do it. Some of these guys have never attempted to do it at all. They just came over illegally and just started living here without any rhyme or reason to be like, hey, not some of them don't have green cards. That's another thing. That's some of those I'm saying easy because government processes are always never easy, but some people have never even begun the process of doing even the most basic minimalist thing. If you have a green card, the only way they can kick you out is if you basically, what's the thing in American? I think you like kind of go against America's wishes or whatever, something like that. You obstruct justice or you kind of help out a foreign terrorist organization, something like that. Like you would have to really do some real heinous shit. I know people with green cards. They're able to be here. Some of them don't even have green cards.
Yeah, and in our immigration policy, our process it's long. I'm not saying it's not. I think it takes like 8 years or some shit. It's a very long drawn out process.
Oh yeah.
But in comparison to some other countries that these people would probably be seeing their championing, it's not near as bad. Like in Canada, even getting married to a Canadian, I don't think guarantees you a citizenship.
That's the whole birthright citizenship thing. Yeah.
You have to go through a whole process. It takes longer, but Canada, they think Canada is great. Mexico, if you become a citizen of Mexico and you were not born there, you're not allowed to own a waterfront property. I think you're not allowed to own it, so you can't own beach houses or some shit like that. You got to go through a process. There's like other rules. Like here, if you become a citizen, if you get that right and you go through the process and you become a citizen, the only thing you can't do is become president. Otherwise, you have every right and every privilege that American citizen has. You can own whatever we can, but other countries don't do that. But like I said, you'll have the left will demonize us and praise those countries, even though, like I said, it's a lot harder to become a Canadian citizen than it is to become a United States citizen.
Eric, what's up, buddy? He says, one of my friends who has lived here her entire life, except when she was born, and they finally granted her citizenship 4 years ago. But this is the thing. At least your friend, I mean, I can't speak for your friend. I don't know this person, but at least they tried to become one and finally got it. I don't believe, I'm not saying you saying this, but I'm saying for me. I don't think people would be thrown out of it if they were trying to do it. I've been on a few government systems my entire life. As long as you're in the system and trying to keep getting it done, you'll eventually have something happen. I'm pretty sure your friend kept doing it because she truly wanted to be here. Some of these guys have never tried it. They never even attempted to do it. They don't even get the green cards. It's like, how are we supposed to feel bad for that? Like, if you've never attempted to do anything but just not even try to become an American citizen, then I can't really feel bad for you because you didn't really absorb our values. Because remember the whole Hamas thing where a bunch of these people are going against America's interests and all that shit. It's like some of these guys don't even like America. Some of these guys are actually acting against America's best interests. In the whole deportation thing when ICE was getting really big, you had all those Hispanic people with all those Mexican rallies and shit like that. People are literally promoting flags, for another country. And it's like, but don't you want to be here? I'm pretty sure if you don't want to get deported because you like being here, pretty sure you should be waving American flags, being like, hey, their flags and their protests should be make the system faster. Let's get it done quicker for people that actually want to be here. That should be the argument. It shouldn't be, hey, I can come over here legally and not even do the basic minimal thing, which is get a green card. Guys, I know people with green cards. They're not deported. You literally would have to be having like, you literally have to be like supporting Hamas to be kicked out. It's so easy to get one of those things, Once you're supporting Hamas, then you can be here. It's like, your friend wanted to be here, so I'm glad she got that, and that's deserved. These other people don't have the same level of sympathy. I'm sorry, it's just they didn't even try to get the citizenship. But the other thing about they always say attacking democracy. Didn't Colorado literally try to taking off Trump off the ballot?
Yeah, they're saying due process. They were trying to stop him from being able to run for president because of accusations. So where's your due process then? Where you had no problem telling a person they can't run for a government seat because somebody said they did something and you have no proof. But yeah, sure, due process.
Yeah, people always talk about their American right, their constitutional rights are attacked and all stuff, and it's like, I guess that's just one of those like dog whistle things that people keep saying. No, my rights are getting attacked. My human rights. Yeah. It's like, oh my goodness, this thing of like our democracy is getting destroyed, and it's like, oh my god, you guys are insane. People hate America so much that they refuse to leave it. Like I hate America. We do bad things. All right, leave. But no, what the fuck? If this country's so bad, guys, we have literally millions of people trying to invade this country because given how great it is. We have the best country in the world almost by far. Have you guys seen what happens in North Korea? There's videos of it. That's not propaganda. This is literally how their life is. Pretty sure if a North Korean person came over here and did it the right way, they would feel like this is paradise over here.
Yeah. Then it's funny to bring up North Korea, man, dude. That fucking place. They literally... You have a poop quota there. Have you heard that?
Oh God. Yep.
You have to, because their agriculture relies on, they don't have big ag. They have they have to put their own feces and stuff on the food to make it grow. So the government requires you to produce a certain amount of manure. And if you don't meet it, they will arrest you. They will come to your house and freaking beat you for not having enough of it. So you actually have families and they have to lock their shit up literally because people will come and steal theirs to make sure that they hit their quota. So you're not really eating that much because there's just not that much food. But somehow you're supposed to produce enough. And so like kids at school, they will literally have the kids run around the towns and stuff, collecting dog manure to try to keep the quota up. Yeah. Could you imagine living in a country where you had to weigh
those Indian videos where how they make like sauce and food? Oh my God. There's a viral video and there's plenty of them about how dirty India is. People putting their big toes to cut meat. I know we have processed food here. I know we have processed food here, but I'll take processed food any day over someone dipping their big toe into cutting my food.
Dude, I love the freaking funny videos that people make where they're all like, you want the drink, and then they'll sit there and they'll stir it with their fingers and go, and they're joking about it. They'll take just make these ridiculous drinks, just joking about how nasty it is. Yeah, dude. I'm sorry if I go to get a drink from you and the pot you're mixing it in has flies just landing and floating dead bodies in there, and you're doing it with your hands and shit. I'd be like, no, I'm good. Just keep the money. I'm gonna go get some bottled soda that is like locked up.
Did you see the one video where someone was making sauce and they were making sauce in a pot that literally looked like it had never been washed in its entire life cycle? Rust and dog shit on gross. Like people, our country is literally the best it is. And people say, well, when was America great? Keep in mind, I'm not saying America's always did great things. There's dark history with America, but overall, we have a really great place we live in. That millions of people try to illegally come over all the time. Like our country is better by far. My friend James, the one you met at the meetup, he went to Korea. He went to Korea, I think December last year or October-ish time last year. He said he'll never go back ever again. Said he He loves this place too much. He literally went over to Korea, was there for like a few weeks, and was like, I like it here. He's like, I'm never going back. Oh my god.
There's a couple places outside of the United States I would travel and I'd like to see, but yeah, I'm pretty picky about where I would want to actually visit. I'm not some like, oh, I have to go to this country, I have to go to that country. No, I'm cool. I would like to go, to like Ireland and Scotland and stuff, mostly because it's part of me, I guess. But yeah, otherwise, I don't need to go to Mexico. I'm good. I've stepped foot in it one time, and that was enough. Cool.
Yeah. And oh, for America, yeah, America is the best. Yeah, we're just best at everything. And I get it. Things here can be improved, but that's not to say that the average way you can live, like that's what throws me off about women. I shit on women a lot, and I love shitting on women because they're just mentally deranged. The way women speak about this country and not understanding how other third world countries treat women with legit no rights. Women think here they have no rights. All right, I challenge everyone. Go live in Saudi Arabia. Go live in Iraq. One of those countries recently was last year ruled that women, I think, can't even have female friends. Yeah, they took away your right to just have a basic human relationship. So for every woman here that's arguing they have no rights here, go live in one of those countries then.
Yeah.
Apparently think it's so bad here,
Yeah. Eric, you're right. Mexico is beautiful. I'm not trying to dig on it. California, a lot of ways looks, some of it, not all, because we have such a diverse thing here in California, but a lot of it looks a lot like Mexico, green, high desert, stuff like that. I'm not dissing it on its looks. There's plenty of countries out there that are absolutely beautiful. China is absolutely beautiful. Get outside the cities, it's a gorgeous country. I don't like to go to any place where I'm not secure in what I'm allowed to do, and if I'm, going to get treated fairly. I've, I don't trust going down to Mexico and fucking not doing some arbitrary thing and then being, shook down by the local cops or getting in trouble. There was that one guy who went over to Thailand, like it was a long, long time ago. I think it was Thailand. He went there and spit on the street, ended up getting like lashed because he wasn't aware that spitting on the street in that country is a serious crime. Here, people spit on the street all the time.
Yeah.
He didn't, know what he was doing. And so that's kind of my big thing is I don't want to go to a country where I'm going to do something like just, like scream at somebody, hey, and they're all like, oh, you broke some sound ordinance. Now you owe us 30 grand. Like I said, a country can be beautiful and me not still want to visit. I'll look at pictures of it in a book. I don't need to stand there myself and actually see it.
Hi, gamer chick. How are you doing? Well, I had sex with a lot of women tonight, so I'm good. That's why we can have these great conversations here. But it just blows my mind how women think these things. It's like you guys have no idea how good you have it here. And keep in mind, just because people don't want to let you have abortions, God forbid, doesn't mean they're taking away your freaking human rights. It's like you're fine. Women can literally do whatever they want here. Come on, we give them a lot of stuff here. Women are allowed to do quite a bit here, But over there, I mean, women can't even show their hair. They have to wear the hijabs or whatever they're called. Like, oh my goodness. Women, you don't know how good you have it over here. This is the best place for you. It's like, it's so hard here in America. All right, cool. Go live in fucking North Korea then. You think it's so hard here.
Well, with so much, like, they'll be sitting there going, this country sucks, this country's ass, this, and then they'll say some arbitrary country that they say is so much better. And it's all like, it's funny because in that country, you wouldn't be able to say what you're saying in this country. This country, you're able to say that and get away with it, and nobody's gonna hurt you. You're not gonna be in prison. You're not gonna. But in that country, if you diss the government, you're in lockup, man. So yeah, it's like maybe know more about the places you praise and what the actual rights you have and how fair they are to their citizens before you sit there and diss a country that gives you literally blanket carte blanche to freaking say fuck the government, fuck everything about them and stuff like that. Yeah, because not.
Also keep in mind for women here, women in this country are allowed to be in positions of power. Now, whether or not you deserve it or should have it, it's a debatable thing because most women in power are typically not good at it. But the country has a way of letting women, if they work hard enough and they're good at their job, you can be in positions of power. That would not happen in Saudi Arabia. How many women in position of powers are in like Iraq, guys? Keep in mind, we literally let women potentially become like, CEOs. I don't know any CEOs in third world countries that are women, unless you're like some sort of king's wife or some shit. What was that one country where the people got tired of the leaders so bad they just walked up and killed him? I think it was Saddam Hussein. No, it's not him. It was fucking hell. I forgot the name of the guy. They walked up. It was Romania. I think it happened in Romania or whatever. The people just got so tired of him, they just went up and just offed him. It's like, yeah, we don't really have that here. Other countries are brutally bad. Honestly, we have a great country here. I'm actually glad I live in America. Like, seeing as how other things have happened in the world, nope. I'm a patriot, waving my American flag over here. God, the Captain America shirt over here too.
Yeah, they just recently, I saw this article that like all these transgender people are saying they're going to leave England because of they just had a court say that
I saw that.
Yeah. And they're all like, well, because of that, we don't no longer feel safe here. I'm all like, what changed? Did they say, okay, new court case, now you get to, kill him with
death penalty?
Yeah. Yeah, it's so like, Jesus Christ, they just said that women should have their own spaces, and that there is difference.
There was a court case where it was basically, I think it was Britain, where they ruled that men are men and women are women.
Yeah.
And biological sex applies to all the things you just said. And they're like, oh, it's horrible here. We must leave. And go where?
Yeah.
And go where?
Yeah, nothing really changed. You still have all the protections. No one can hurt you, right? But yeah, somehow they're not safe now. Stupid.
Yeah, so people are just over dramatic and hysterical for no reason. Like, oh man, you don't like bacon? What? How do you not like bacon? Bacon is amazing.
Yeah, jeez.
Pineapple on pizza is overrated trash. I've had it. It's not good. I'd rather eat literal dog vomit than eat pineapple on pizza. Pineapple pizza is terrible. Like,
I love pineapple pizza, man.
Oh no, we lost him. We lost him now,
dude. It's. I always want to have an argument with people about that, because like usually when people are against it, it's because they just don't like it, and I appreciate that, and that's fine. If you don't like it, no one's going to change your mind. It's taste thing. And I don't hold that against you. Don't hold it against me that I do like it. But people who are like, like, I don't know, it's blasphemy, right? The people who make the most lamest arguments against it, like it just shouldn't exist. Like I could blow their whole argument out of the water, but they never want to argue it because they know they'll lose. Yeah,
I think it's just a weird combination though. Pineapple is one of those fruits where it's so strong. Like you put it on cheese, the texture of the pineapple just overtakes the cheese and the tomato sauce. That's why I feel like it's such a weird combination. Like I think what's worse than pineapple on pizza is the one no one ever talks about. It's Supreme Pizza. Ugh, God, Supreme Pizza is gross.
Dude,
almost like
too.
Oh my God, we're losing it.
Dude, I'm pretty open about like different stuff on pizza, but no, the reason pineapple is big on pizza is because one, you have salty and savory, which is or sweet, salty and sweet. It's one of your taste buds things. There's a sweet, sour. You have different sections of your tongue taste different things. When you mix those, it's enjoyable, which is salty and sweet. The reason pineapple above other fruits is because pineapple is a very strong, it can take the heat of a pizza oven. Pizza ovens run at an exceptionally hot heat, and you need a fruit that can actually stand up to that heat. And pineapple, you can literally put pineapple rings on a grill and grill them. I do it. I grill them and I put it with vanilla ice cream. It's fucking amazing. So that's why pineapple. But yeah, I mean, there's other fruits I've seen on pizza that some just don't hold up as well. But yeah, it's just a salty and sweet thing. That's all the point.
I had pineapple pizza yesterday. You guys are all pineapple and pizza lovers. I love it. I love it.
Oh, the chat's turning on you, man.
They lost me. Now I'm the Democrat against them. Holy crap. The other thing I wanted to ask is, back in your room right there, you have One Piece stuff. Have you watched One Piece ever since it began here?
I'm up to 800 and something. I'm up to where he's fighting Doflamingo. I'm going to actually start from the beginning again because that was so long ago. I'm dyslexic, so I have real hard. I can read. I'm worse at writing, but I can read fine. But when stuff is dubbed, I can't read, or subbed, I can't read quick enough.
Okay,
Uh,
makes sense.
so I usually go for the dubs, and so I was watching it as the new dubs came out, and I just hit a break and I never went back, but that was such a long time ago. I want to kind of catch back up, so I'm going to watch the whole damn thing again. But yeah, I am a big fan of One Piece. I love One
Yeah,
Piece.
I was here with One Piece, man, when they had like Cartoon Network and the whole 4 Kids dub thing, the manga. I haven't watched anything past when Ace, Luffy, and Cabo have their like backstory revealed on what they did as
Hmm.
kids. That's the last thing I ever watched of One Piece and read. It was when he was crying over losing certain character, and that was it. I had never watched anything in part two other than saw a fight of him taking on, oh goodness, fucking hell, Doflamingo. Saw that fight. That looked pretty cool. And then when he fought the one villain from the arc with Nico Robin, he fought that guy again. I was like,
Hmm.
okay. Like, I was thinking to myself, is One Piece ever gonna? It's not. It's gonna end at some point. But Oda is
Yeah,
definitely stretching
God.
it out. Man, got
I know
like,
we're over 1,000 episodes at this point.
we're 1,000 chapters
Well
too.
over.
Like the newest chapter that just dropped, it was a chapter 1,129. It's like, God damn.
Damn. Yeah,
And he
it's
remember
a
what Oda
long one.
said? It's like it's almost halfway done. That's not true. That was said like 6 years ago.
Long as at the end they actually find the fucking One Piece,
There's no
man.
way. I feel like this anime is gonna have one of the most controversial endings ever. There's no way this
Oh,
anime
it's
has
very
been built up
possible. Very
this
possible.
long and it's gonna satisfy people. Because even in TV shows, when did you? How many TV shows can you remember where it actually has a satisfying, good conclusion? You
Oh
know?
god, so many of them ruin it. Like one of the
Yeah.
worst for me was I when I was younger, I loved the Drew Carey show, right? The whole damn show, he's in love with his friend, the girl, the hot one. He like has feelings for her. They finally get together and then they break up because he wants to have kids and she doesn't. And that's common, happens, okay. But you like figure that by the end, they're gonna find some middle ground. Maybe she changes her mind. I don't know. They're supposed to be together, right? Doesn't fucking happen by the end of that. I was like, that's fucking bullshit, man. The fucking dude's been fucking fiending over this girl for the entire series. Oh, it fucking pissed me off. But yeah, there's so many of them where they don't either they don't know they're gonna get canceled or they just don't really think it out and they give the most
Yeah.
lame ending that is so unsatisfying for the fans.
That's how it is for TV or just
Mm,
storytelling. It's like it's relatively just from I guess how I've seen it. It's easy to start, it's hard to finish. I guess that's the motto for TV. It's why most endings are bad. That's what I'm thinking. Like if One Piece ever did end, there's no way after all these many years, all these many episodes, movies and manga chapters and volumes and all that stuff. I don't know what kind of an ending he can come up with that is going to be satisfactory as an ending for the whole thing. I don't
yeah,
know what kind of it could be. Like that's why I feel like he's keep doing it because you'd rather have like that big giant middle part where you keep it going until the end. Like, come on, I don't know how they're gonna wrap it up, but I know it's gonna be definitely gonna cause some controversies. There's gonna be some convoluted bullshit there, and that One Piece treasure has to be like something big and epic. Has to be. So it's been
yeah.
hyped up since the show began. Honestly,
I think that's the thing. Is it going to be a treasure or is it gonna be some wisdom? Is it gonna who knows
oh
what the One
no,
Piece is, right?
what the motto is going to be is like it's about the friends you made along the way. If it's that, I'm done. My whole life's
Yeah.
over.
It's all like it turns out his One Piece is his recipe for this particular soup that he just really loved, and he's all like, "It's my treasure." Who knows, man? What's the One Piece? But yeah, no. What's your favorite character, man? What's your favorite
For
character
One
from him?
Piece, oh,
Mhm.
it's weird. I always like Ace.
And
I
me
thought Ace
too.
was a cool
I was gonna
character.
say
Yeah.
Fire Fist Ace. I actually got a I want to get a tattoo of it. I was gonna originally get it on my hand. It's this real kind of cool skull with the freaking fire. I got fire. I want to put in stuff,
Mhm.
but the problem is where I work, they don't mind you having tattoos, but they're like it can't be anything that can be considered gang
Mm,
related. And so fire, they think is
yeah.
it would somehow, and so they wouldn't let me put it on my hand. Bastards. I can get it somewhere else that can't be seen, but I couldn't get it on my hand. So I'm still gonna get a similar one, but I'm gonna get it somewhere else on my body. But I like
What was
Ace.
your favorite arc from One Piece? I know a lot of people's favorites are usually Marineford, the Arlong Park arc. There's Sanji's. There's the one with Nico Robin. That's like a fan favorite up there too. What's your favorite arc of the show?
Uh, Probably Marine Forge. The shark fishman. I liked it. That was the first part. When I first started watching, I was kind of like, this isn't that great.
Mhm.
When that was what really drew me in was when he fought what's his name? Arlong, is it?
Arlong, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That fight, I
When they
was
have
like,
that
damn, this
moment
is
where she's
fucking cool.
crying and she feels like she lost everything, and he just non-verbally tells the guys, let's go get this guy
Yeah.
for ruining her life." Like
Yep.
that right there. I told people this: watch One Piece until that moment, and if you don't like the Arlong Park arc or the ones before it, you just,
Yeah.
I guess you won't even like it at that point. If you don't like the Arlong Park arc, that you won't like it at all, honestly. You know, I think
Yeah.
it's crazy because the Arlong Park arc was so good that people neglect the Sanji one. The Sanji one was really good, honestly. Sanji's was fun.
Sanji's a
Oh, John
shithead.
Creed. Yeah, yeah. Or what was
Dude,
after that? Oh my god, Alabasta is so long. I didn't mind Alabasta, but it's just so long. It's so long to get done. You know what I think the character's overrated? It's Chopper. After his introduction, he isn't really like that interesting after his introduction. He's just kind of
I
there.
I like Chopper except for when he gets all fucking like starts blushing and shit whenever he gets a compliment. He's seen there doing
Oh
his little
yeah.
wave. That part annoys the shit out of me, but otherwise it's a cool character. I like how he, changes especially when he changes that damn big ass monster and starts ripping shit apart. But
The
yeah.
other last few things I'll ask you is the first one is your YouTube channel. So what made you finally consciously start a YouTube channel? Because I know you said you're fans of like the Geeks and Gamers Nerdrotic sphere, but what made
Oh
you go like,
yeah.
okay, I want to do like my own YouTube channel with like my own podcast?
Well, when I originally started, I was a part of the Legion of Memers.
I remember,
Was
yeah.
Yeah, was where I originally started. And they started a show, and I said, "Sure, I'll go on." They were asking who wants to actually do it. I said, "I'll go on. I don't mind talking on a mic. I guess whatever." And so that's where I started out. Then other people branched off, did their shows. I was doing their shows. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do a show of my own. It seems like it would be fun, but I didn't want to do what everyone else was doing. And so that's why my first show was Get Ranked, which is, a group of people ranking different things. I don't want to really do a panel show, right, at least not right off the bat. But yeah, I wanted to do different shows. I wanted to do my own content and see if people
Mhm.
enjoyed it, if they liked watching. And so it was to be a hobby, it was just to have fun. And so far it has been. Every show I'm doing is just because I really enjoy talking and
Mhm.
hanging out and stuff.
Yeah, like doing your own show. I feel like people that don't do this, I'm not saying you guys are not intelligent, you guys are pretty intelligent people. It's like this is one of these things where unless you really are doing it, you really won't know the full scope of it. Like running your own show, having to constantly be able to have a conversation, making things interesting for people. It's something that not a lot of people can do. Like there are people out there that are pretty bad guests that I've had over the years. And when those shows happen, if you give me one word answers, I am out. I am not doing that. Like you're supposed to be here to provide some level of entertainment for someone. Like someone's listening to you on their second monitor, probably doing something that needs some of their attention to be put somewhere else while they do something. And it's running podcasts is just crazy. Like you have people like sometimes you have to kind of steer the conversation back to where it was originally after it went off the rails. And it's fun. I thoroughly enjoy it. I wouldn't change it for the world, honestly. I think your pub show isn't it on like episode 50 at this point, I think now.
I think we just did 72.
Oh, that's good. Awesome.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's yeah, that the pub was I've always liked the idea of sitting in a bar having conversations with friends that are so nonsensical. I
Yeah.
remember back when I was younger,
Mhm.
doing just that. We would go to a bar and we'd be sitting there literally arguing about the most lamest things. But when you're in it and when you're having that conversation, when you're having
Mhm.
fun with your friends, it doesn't matter that you're literally arguing about a color of something. Was it this or was it that? It doesn't
Yeah.
matter because you're just having fun with that conversation. And so when I started the pub, that's exactly what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be when you sit there and you ask your friends, who would uh, kick Superman's ass first? This character or that character? And you
Yeah.
can have a freaking 45 2-hour conversation with your friends about why this character has a much better chance of beating Superman than this character. I wanted to have that back. And especially where I live now, I don't really have that opportunity. So that's where the pub kind of came from, was just those kind of conversations. Anyone on the pub, I tell them, all you have to do is bring a conversation you want to have. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's the weather. If you want to talk about the weather, that's fine. Just long as you want to have a real conversation about it, long as you want to fucking talk about it, bring one of those and we'll do it. And so, yeah. And I
Those are
think
similar to my idea too. Like the idea is you just want to have a very fun conversation. Generally, it can be about anything. Like the whole, I think it's a whole typical situation where talking with some friends in a bar, or like the whole, like you just have friends and you're just debating about the most dumbest things possible. I just wanted to have that in a podcast form because we're going to have all these great conversations. I want to make something out of it. You know, I want to show people all this stuff. I wanted to show people you can still have this. It's still possible to do exactly what you said. You just have to kind of make it a thing, you know?
Yeah.
And it's about having the most viewers too. I don't even care about having the most viewers. It's mostly about, I just want to enjoy the conversation I'm having with said person. I don't care if we agree. I just want to have a good conversation, you know? That's all that matters, you know? And it's one of these things where as long as the person just has a decent mic, I'm good to go. And people are like, do I have to show my face? No. As long as you have a decent mic, you don't sound like complete shit, and we're good, you know, because we are doing like a podcast, so to speak. So no one wants to hear Mr. Krabs when they're talking. Yeah.
That's exactly it. If anybody's gonna get into YouTube, it's more important to have a good mic than a good camera.
True.
Screw the camera. People, if they can't hear you or you sound, you know, like just utter shit on your mic, people will not tune in. So yeah, if anyone out there thinking about it, get yourself a damn good mic. That's where you should put your money.
Yeah, because good audio quality will take you very much way farther than a good camera is fine. I'm not saying that's bad, but if people can't properly make out what you're saying because your audio equipment is just awful, then you're not going to make it far. Like literally, guys, at Walmart and Target, you can buy like decent quality microphones that'll get you plenty far for like 70, 80 bucks, honestly. You know?
Yeah.
Like different back in the day when I first started doing this, there was all types of trash that existed out there.
Yeah.
It's gotten way better over the years. And having a YouTube channel now, do you have any like goals essentially outside of like just doing the pub and you have Devil's Angels and you have Get Ranked? Is there anything other thing you want to try out or do? Or are you just cool with this right now?
The next big thing we are doing, and I'm doing it with Iron and Professor Savage Dad.
Those Cloud Chasers? Oh, damn it.
and now Theo's on board too.
Oh no, the Trinity of Cloud Chasers. You're killing me.
Oh God. Yeah, we're doing this Make Me a Sandwich, which if I used to love watching the Man Show. I don't know if you watched that. And I also love Married with Children, and in it, Al Bundy has his group No Ma'am. And so we're kind of combining the two. It's going to be kind of a satirical man show type funny idea where we look at everything that's happening, just like any panel show. We look at what's happening during the week, movies, any of that kind of stuff. But we're going to look at it solely through this satirical version of how it affects men and women being bad and stuff. So it's going to be hopefully extremely funny. And that's going to be the next big show. We're working on that, building that out right now.
That's awesome. Hell yeah, man. It's your show just runs late. Holy crap.
Yeah.
You just have the latest time zone ever. It's one of these things I always tell people, you know, we're not getting paid to do this. We're doing it purely because we're just doing it because we enjoy it and it's fun. The fact that a lot of people don't even get this too. Getting a group together, a consistent group of people that you can do this with pretty much every single week, barring you might take a break every once in a while because shit happens, is also hard to get. Like, people understand your group, you're generally 6 people on, typically speaking, well, 5, considering yourself. That's also hard to get. It's convincing someone, hey, I want to do this with you. You want to do this with me. Now we got to do it with other people. And then you have to make sure, like, people have chemistry, they get along, there's no like drama happening after the show's over. It's so much you guys don't get that happens in this stuff, and you never know when it's gonna pop off and go off the rails. You just hopefully know, hey, and you're always the one blamed. You're the show host, you always get blamed for everything. Doesn't matter what that guest said. They're like, that person said that on your show. It's like, I didn't even say that, I didn't agree with it, but doesn't matter because the average person is so dumb they just can't contemplate that it wasn't the person that ran the show who said it. Holy mother of God.
The pub, the biggest problem we have with the pub is since it runs so late, a lot of people who say they're gonna be on, like, fall asleep and don't show up. Like, last night, Toasty was set to be on, and Kenzo. Kenzo used to be one of the regulars, one of the people who
Mhm.
are on every week. He had to step away, and so but he comes on every once in a while. He slept through his alarm because he's from England, so it was early morning for him,
Mhm.
and Toasty fell asleep. So neither of my guests showed up because one was just went to sleep and one forgot to wake up. So that's my biggest problem is I'm constantly having people who just fall asleep waiting for the show to start.
Yeah, that's booking guests too, because I know like a lot of people in this field like watching Friday Night Tights, and pretty entertaining show they have over there. It's just it's much easier doing it one week and getting one guest rather than doing like we do like technically multiple times a week at this point now. Just getting a single guest to be locked down is hard. You're just doing I've had one-on-ones forever, even on my older YouTube channel, and getting just one-on-ones is hard. Time zones, what's the best day for you and the other person to do it? It's just goodness gracious. And then you hope you can just deliver the best show in like an hour and 30 minutes when you do it. And that's all I need is someone just to have a conversation with. That's it. Just something fun. Like some people just want to talk about just Marvel, and it's like, cool. I always try to say to hosts is like generally tend to be multifaceted, because if you're multifaceted as a host, you can have different forms of a conversation. Because I feel like with some hosts in the back in the day, whenever I watch stuff, they were only focused on one thing, and it's like, well, when that thing is not getting anything news updated or anything coming out that's fresh for it, like where do you take your conversation? So I told people I try to be like the old saying of a master of none kind of thing. But I want to actually try and master and learn, even though I don't know it in depth. I want to try and learn other things. That way we can have a more different conversations most of the time,
Yeah, jack of all trade, master of none.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Actually,
master part I try to learn.
that was actually in my bio back in the day when I first started on Twitter. I said, yeah, master of none. None. Absolutely none. Like,
Nothing happened. I wasn't banned for hate speech because YouTube is trash. But last few things I'll ask you, man, is do you have anything big coming up planned that you want to let the audience know about?
Yeah, just that make me a sandwich. Just when we get it kicked off, hopefully everyone tunes in. Hopefully it is funny and enjoyable as we feel it's gonna be. That's essentially the big thing coming up for me now that Vegas is over and stuff. Now, everything leading up to Vegas was it's like Christmas. Everything is so drastic and so much work and everything. And then it happens, it's gone. And now it's like back to just the average. But yeah, so when that show kicks off, I hope everyone really likes it.
Yeah, it's one of those things with Vegas where you have so much build up to it, and then it happens. You're like, man, it was over so quick.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, back to regular life where we got to pay taxes.
Yep. Christmas is so
man.
stressful going into Christmas, and then you get that one day, and then yep, it's gone. Same thing with Vegas. So much work going into it, so much work, and then gone.
Do you try to generally network when you're there, or you're just there to just chill and have a good time? That's what I mostly see for you. You're just there to have a good time most of the time.
Yeah. I've met a couple people, networked a little bit, but I don't go there with cards and a bunch of stickers and all that, trying to make a bunch of connections. I just like hanging out with people. I don't expect my channel to ever grow to any massive thing. The only thing I really want to do is just hit that first level of monetization, the 500 followers and stuff, just to say I did it. Not because I'm ever think I'm going to make money at this. It's a hobby, and I enjoy hanging out with people. I enjoy meeting people. I enjoy, like I said, having the conversations that I just can't really get around where I live. But yeah, so I mean, there's no big plan for my channel. I'm not trying to be nerdrotic or anybody even close to that. I just want to hope people enjoy what I'm putting out, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the thing for me. I told people this. I don't even care about like subscribers and counting it stuff. I'm just putting out content because I just enjoy doing it. If the views and subscribers come, that's fine. But there's no real goals. The main channel, this second main channel that I have, I should say, it's already at 1,000 subs. It's going to be monetized very soon. That's pretty much it at that point. Everything else is just kind of gravy. You got to just consistently do things when you can, because a lot of people go, well, I'm not growing. It's, well, you just have to kind of be consistent at it. And keep in mind, if you're growing when you're at a certain small level, it's just hard in general. You know, it's not going to be easy. This stuff is not easy. I know why people think it's easy, but they watch like a bunch of big other content creators and they think it's just so easy from the outside perspective. Gray said, oh my God, Killer B, the only, oh goodness gracious, Gray's trolling me. All right. Last thing I'll ask you, man, is there any shout outs you want to give to anyone in particular and anything else you want to say before we head out?
Just shout out to everybody who, you know, hangs out with me and stuff. Our group of people who do shows, whether it's Iron Oxide's group, whether it's Dermy's group, we're all just like one big kind of family here, you know, and so I shout out all them that they've all helped me, I've helped them, and I love that we kind of have our own thing now. Like Nerdrotic even pointed it out, you know, he may have started the whole thing, but now everyone's branching off and kind of forming their own kind of, you know, bonds. And so I really like that we have that, you know.
God, you guys like a white man? Are you like white supremacists or something? You guys like Yahtzees? God, man.
I've been called worse.
Yeah, you know, man, like people think like, I guess in this group, people just think of Nerdrotic as God, but it's like that's just not true. Like people just kind of likes what he's done. That's it. Like he's essentially, I mean, I met Gary a few times myself. He just kind of inspired people to kind of just do their own thing. That's really all it is. Like if someone like that inspired you to do your own thing, that's a good thing. You know, pretty sure like there's plenty of people that are his subscribers that don't agree with him, but like that's supposed to be how that should work. You're not supposed to agree with everything someone says. You just go, all right, cool. That's what the person thinks. I guess in this space, a lot of people just think everyone just agrees with each other. It's like, it's just not true. I don't know how to keep saying it, but no one just agrees with everything I say. If that happened, the world's on fire. Because I would say women shouldn't be allowed to vote. So that's just me. Oh, God. Master of none. MSK has accomplished that. I have mastered being a Riz master. That's how it works. But yeah, it was great to have Devil on for the first time. Can't wait to have him on again, whether it be in a panel show or another one-on-one. Thank you guys for checking out this episode of the MSK Show. We're going to see you guys later. Have a